I wanted to ask you about some, and we got to honor our legends while we're here on the stage at History of the Bay Day. Yo, how did it feel when Mac Dre made a song called Chuy and put it on his album?
Well, you know, it's crazy. Mac Dre and I had a funny relationship because he was roommates with a buddy of mine named Bijan. When he came out of jail, him and Bijan were roommates. And so Bijan was my buddy, but he's also Mac Dre's buddy. And so I spent some time with him and we hung out. And we just kind of shoot the shit. So we did a bunch of interludes on some of his other albums. But when he did that song, like, I didn't even know that he had done it. And they came out. And they said, yo, Cuddy, I got something for you. I'm like, oh, yeah, what you got? He goes, check out this album. And I'm like, oh, snap. And it was like overwhelming. Like, you know, like I've had jingles done by other artists and I played them on the radio, you know, but when it was not only did he do a sort of jingle and a tribute, but he put it on his album, that was major.
Right, yeah, because he actually had that on the Al Boo Boo album.
Right, it was on the album. So it wasn't just like, oh, that's something you can hear on Chewy Show. No, now you can hear it on Chewy Show, but you could play it in your car.
Yeah,
and that was major.
You know, I want to touch on that a little bit because that kind of relates to some of the work that our sponsor, Californians for Safety and Justice, do, because they work with people who are related to victims of street violence. And the loss of Mac Dre, you know, since we're talking about History of the Bay, how did that loss really affect this community, you think?
I think he was on the verge of bubbling, and it's crazy because he's always been dear to me, and I love him as a person, not just as an artist, as a person. But when we had him, he was on the cusp of blowing up. And then when he passed, it's like he didn't get his flowers that he deserved while he was here. So then when he passed and he blew up the way he did and everybody all of a sudden was a Mac Dre fan, it was kind of crazy. Like, where were you at? Where were you hiding at? Why you weren't singing that song a month ago? But it was like, it was sad because, like I said, he didn't get a chance to get his flowers when he deserved them, and he did so much for the culture.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I wanted to highlight that, because it's important to like talk about how these issues really do impact the entire community. But I also feel like by, you know, supporting each other, supporting the families, keeping these names alive, keeping these legacies going, and also taking a stand that, you know, enough is enough with all this street violence and trying to stand for something positive. I think we can actually like honor the legacy of people like that.
We can. We just need to do more work because, like I said, sometimes it's not the whole tree that's bad, just a couple of apples on the tree that make it look bad. And so a lot of us out here really doing positive shit that doesn't get spotlighted. Unfortunately, the media will highlight the bad shit, not the good shit. So that's the unfortunate part. But there are a lot of good people doing good work out here.
Hey everybody, just a reminder, we got the History of the Bay Dregs One official Patreon going, where you can sign up and get all early access to every podcast episode, bonus content. You can help guide the direction of this podcast. Shout out to Skylar Woods, especially he joined at our tycoon status, and everybody else that's been signing up. Go check out the Patreon. The link is in the description.
Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay. Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay.